How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelate Pumpkin, and welcome to more of a very special video on my channel, because today we're going to be actually taking a bit of a case study inside the Halloween animatronic industry as a whole, and specifically clowns. Now, I'm notorious for hating clown props, but this year was a complete 180 of that opinion, and I think they are incredible this year. So in today's video, we'll be breaking this whole video essay up into 3 points. The first point being what were wrong with clowns in the past. My second point is why I think they are so amazing this year. And my third point will be what can we expect for the future of clowns going forward. So strap in, maybe grab some candy corn, and without any more hesitation, let's jump into my first point being what were wrong with clowns in the past. Alright, here's my first point. What were wrong with clowns in the past? I can go on for ages about this, but I'm going to try to keep it relatively brief here. To start off, I think maybe not every single clown, but a lot of clowns last year especially were just extremely goofy and not menacing or sinister at all. The whole point of a Halloween clown, in my opinion, is I think this portion here is very important, so be sure to listen up. The whole point of having a clown animatronic for Halloween is that they're meant to be a sinister twist on clowns. Now, most people already have a fear of clowns. I forget what that's called. It's not called clown phobia. It's something else, but they have a phobia of clowns. Let's say it like that. I don't know the scientific name for it. But they are obviously afraid of clowns. No matter what the clown is, even if it's meant to just be a goofy clown to make you laugh, they have a fear of it. But that's not everybody. And me included, I don't find clowns scary or intimidating at all unless they are made scary and intimidating. And that's what I think the huge problem was with most of them. They were just goofy, silly clowns. They had nothing to do with scaring you, nothing to do with Halloween. The only thing that made them somewhat intimidating was their really crappy phrases, which most of the time just ended up sounding more goofy than scary. So that was a huge problem with clowns. One of the biggest clowns I could say about this is Peekaboo Clown. Now, of course, a lot of people loved him because of those digital eyes, and I have to say they were really cool. But so much about Peekaboo Clown was just so goofy. I guess the face mold was pretty cool with the scars. That could be another creepy factor there. But everything else about him was just made so goofy, so silly, and not intimidating or scary at all. And I think this can be applied to a lot of Spirit Halloween props as a whole these days, with them just toning back the gore, the violence of them so much, where to basically, they're just kid-friendly, life-size toys pretty much at this point, which is very disappointing in my opinion. But when we go further into this video, when we get to my third point, I think I'm pretty sure this whole video can apply for many different genres of props. I'm saying genres because obviously the different types, like clowns, you know what I'm talking about. But my biggest problem, again, with clowns in the past was that they were just made to be so goddamn goofy, and I hated that. Like, again, Peekaboo Clown, his phrases were so awful, that was, like, pretty much the whole thing that ruined him. He's just made to be so goofy, so silly, it was just so dumb. Like, it wasn't even meant to be scary at that point, which the whole point, again, of a Halloween clown is it's meant to be made intimidating. Now, even going further back into the past, was this a problem with clowns before, or were we just all blinded by how many clowns Spirit was making at that point? No, I think there were a few really, really good clowns to come out of the past 5 years or so, I would say, when clowns animatronics started just absolutely exploding. I'd have to say probably the two best maybe were probably Crouchy and I would have to say Waving Wally. Really, I think those are two amazing clown props, probably out of the past 3 or 5 years or so. Especially in 2019, Crouchy and Waving Wally kind of like carried the clowns that year. So what I'm saying here, does this apply to every single clown in the past? No, not in the slightest. I really think the problems with clowns really started to arise when Spirit and pretty much every company were just pushing out clown animatronics nonstop, and they pretty much took over the entire lineups for that year. Especially in the past 3 or 5 years, I must say. As soon as Towering Clown came out, they were just pushing out clowns non-stop, and it just became oversaturated, and there was like no point to them anymore. That's when they really got goofy, silly, and just cheesy in general. But I do think we got some of the best out of those years too, especially being Waving Wally and Crouchy. I still think those are two amazing clown props that basically were the complete opposite of most of the clown props being sold at that time. They were made to be creepy, they were made to be scary. And that's why I think those two stick out of all the others during that time, because they were actually made to be creepy and scary. That's why I'm making this video pretty much, is because basically take those two props, but they are the entire clown lineup for this year, which I think is really, really incredible. Just creepy and scary clown props are back again, which I think is fantastic. So those are my biggest problems with clown props. I think that was the most important point to start off with, because I really can't tell you why they're good until I explain why I thought they were bad in the past. So now, going on to my second point this year, why do I think this is the best year for clowns? Number one, I don't think there was a single bad clown animatronic this year. Hell, I think all of them are actually really awesome. So I'm going to try to list off as many as I can possibly remember and think of. I'll start off with all the ones being sold Spirit Halloween this year. Starting off, we have Henry Hustle, Harriet Hustle, Wacky Mo, Shorty, Bloody Bag of Jokes, and 2 Scoops. That is 6 right there. And now for all the other companies and stuff. Party City, we have Giggles the Clown. The Home Depot, we have the Jester. And on even the strange HalloweenCostumes.com, we have Funzo the Clown, which I honestly really enjoy. Those are really all the clowns I can remember. There's 9, a solid 9 for this year. Now that may not seem like that much, but when you think about it, there's really no other like genre of props made in that quantity every year. For scarecrows, for example, I think we only got like 2 or 3 scarecrows this year, and 9 clowns. But I'm not upset about that at all, because I think clowns, again, bringing up to the second point now, this is the best year for clowns. So with all that said in the previous point, basically every single clown this year is the exact opposite of goofy, silly, and just downright cheesy. All of them are creepy in some way. Now I'll start off with the ones I've listed. So Henry Hustle, I think he is a nice step back from the absolutely goofy and trashy clown props. Even though I think his phrases could have been improved a little bit, I still think he has one of the best and most creepy jump scares of all. His head popping out of his body is so unexpected, and it is sure to get so many people. Also, his design and stuff, even his like non-sinister face, I think is more creepy than the actual scary face he's meant to have. I think there's just something so disturbing and off-putting about that top head that it really just makes standing near him just very unsettling, which I absolutely love. Again, a complete 180 from what clown props were last year and years prior. Also, Harriet Hustle. Even though I don't think she is as good as Henry Hustle, I still think she is pretty solid. Her detailing her face is creepy. She actually has blood all over her clothes, which is really cool. And there's just something, again, pretty creepy about her. And she doesn't say anything goofy or cheesy. She just has an actual pretty good creepy laugh. Pretty much the opposite of what Johnny Punk was. So, for Harriet Hustle, Henry Hustle, they're obviously both great. Also, we have Wacky Mo Returning, which, even though that shouldn't really apply in this video, I'm just still going to count them anyways. Even though he is returning, I still think he was a good prop to bring back, a lot better than Uncle Charlie, since he is really unique, and also there's something definitely off-putting about him. With how much blood is on his hammer, you can definitely tell he killed so many people. I just wish they added blood all over his clothes, but again, I still think there's something disturbing and creepy about Wacky Mo. Even though his phrases are definitely silly, they're definitely not as goofy as a lot of the other clowns, which I can definitely love and respect. Another clown this year being Shorty, which is of course licensed from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. If you know me, I absolutely love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. The design of those clowns in that movie, I guess I really shouldn't be praising the prop. I'm more praising the movie here, so don't even count this as something a part of that. But I honestly think the designs of the clowns in that movie are both creepy and goofy at the same time, which no other clown animatronic or no other clowns in general can pull off as well as they did in that movie. So just discount that portion from the rest of the clown props. But Bloody Bag of Jokes is one of the great clown props that I was very surprised to see return, and I'm really happy he is. I think he is very creepy again, and he says, I like his phrases a lot actually, and I just overall think he's a very good choice for a clown prop to bring back. And of course, probably my favorite clown of the entire year being 2 Scoops. Now, a lot of people would think I would actually hate this one because they think it's goofy. And I have to say, I completely 100% disagree with you here. He is a giant beast of a prop, and he is so terrifying in my opinion. Something about those the two heads, the 2 personalities, Jim and Tim, them just like joking around about like killing all these children. There's something so creepy about him, especially with his monstrous hands. He could probably kill anyone that is in his way, which is something really disturbing about it. Especially with the little girl in the ice cream cone, I think she is great for once. Most kid most Kidnapping Kid Clown props honestly are awful, especially the SVI ones. So I'm really happy to see a kid, I guess you would call it a kidnapping clown, where they hold a kid or something, an actual good one for once, since I honestly think most of the ones that SVI made were awful. So I'm really happy to see New Ray's son, or FU, making this clown animatronic, and I feel like that's another reason why it's really good. I think SVI really needs to stop making clown animatronics, since most of them are the worst ones of the bunch, which I guess is another thing I should have mentioned before, but I could do that in a whole separate video. Like, it doesn't really apply here is what I'm saying. But anyways, I think Two Scoops is absolutely incredible, just so scary, so creepy. There's just something so off-putting about him, and I did order him, but unfortunately he's on back order, so right now, like, I have no clue if he's even gonna ship or not. I really hope he does. But overall, I think he is absolutely incredible and just really scary. So, for the remainder of the props at the other companies, I still think they're all good. My least favorite clown this year is probably Giggles the Clown. He's pretty goofy in my opinion, and I don't think his phrases are that great. He should say a few things for what you're paying, and I think his jump scare's alright though. But overall, I think he's towards the lower end, but he is still really good in my opinion. Even though I'm talking pretty negative about him, I still think he's honestly probably better than pretty much every single clown prop made new for last year, for 100%. Like, there's something still pretty creepy about him, even though he's still kind of silly and goofy. And for the last two being the Jester and Funzo the Clown, I just think both of those are honestly very creepy as well. Originally, I said the Jester was my favorite clown prop of all time as soon as we saw the leaked stock photo of him, but over time, my opinion of him kind of dwindled a little bit. I don't think he's as good as I first remember when I saw him. Like, he doesn't have the best phrases. I still think he's honestly probably in my top 10 or top 15 of all the clown props ever made, but I still really do love that one. And I was considering buying him, but then when Two Scoops came out, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to get Two Scoops instead. I like Two Scoops a lot better. So I'm happy I waited on purchasing the Jester, but that's a whole different thing. And I still think Jester is amazing. And Funzo the Clown, I have no clue why I like him so much, but I really do. Maybe it's the orange hair that he has, because we never get clowns with orange hair. So overall, I think it is just really, really cool. I just love Funzo. I think he's actually really creepy. So that's pretty much it for my second point there, probably being the most important, just really talking about all the clowns. Overall, the biggest problem I had with clowns in the past was they were all silly and goofy, and this year, with them all being really creepy and disturbing, I definitely can say why I love them so much. Definitely them being creepy and like disturbing and just overall like really scary props is why I really do love them so much. So now for my third point, will this continue? Will we continue to get really creepy and really awesome clown props, or will they just go back to being the same old goofy crap they normally give us? And the truth is, I don't think we'll ever have a year again where every single clown prop is amazing. Now, this is obviously a very opinionated video. When going in, I knew I would be having some pretty controversial opinions by saying every single clown prop is good this year. I'm sure there are a lot of people who hate the clown props this year, but in my opinion, this is the best year for clowns. Like, there's no way to put it, but I never think again we'll get every single clown prop. It doesn't even depend. It doesn't even matter the company this year, which is crazy to me. Every single one of them, at least in my opinion, was awesome. I never think this will happen again, unfortunately. I still think they're going to be giving us some really creepy and awesome ones, but I don't think we'll ever have a year again where every single one released is awesome. Which is pretty unfortunate, but I mean, this is like completely the most rare thing to ever happen, probably in the history of Halloween animatronics. But I honestly really do love all of them this year, and I honestly don't think something like this will probably happen again. Maybe it will, I could be wrong. From now on, we could be getting really creepy ones, no matter like who makes them. Every single one of them will just be creepy. But I don't know. I still have a feeling next year we're gonna get one awful, really goofy clown prop from Spirit. But only time will tell. And I feel like at this point, the popularity of clowns is starting to dwindle a little bit. I feel like next year we're really not gonna get as many clowns anymore. I think this is one last send-off to the clown craze. And I think it's one of the best send-offs they could possibly give all the clown animatronics by making a whole bunch of good ones. Do I think we're still going to be getting clown animatronics? Absolutely. There's still no way of getting around it. They're still really great sellers, but I definitely think the quantities of them are going to dwindle. I think from now on, Spirit's probably only going to release 2 or 3 and probably only have one set up in store, which I'm kind of hoping for. It's really nice to see other types of props get chances in store. But overall, I still think this is the best year for clowns ever. Well, we did it. We made it through all 3 points, and Wow, that was a whole lot to talk about. I really hope you guys enjoy this unique take on a video on my channel where we take a deep dive into clown animatronics as a whole and pretty much the whole Halloween animatronic industry as a whole. I really appreciate you guys if you stuck it out to the end of this video. Be sure to like and subscribe as always, everybody. Also check out my merch and my Instagram in the description below. And let me know what your favorite clown animatronic was for this year. Mine again is definitely Two Scoops. I think he's the scariest and the creepiest out of them all. And let me know if you agree with any of the points I brought up on this video. And is this the best year for clowns in your opinion? And with all that, as always, this is the Pixelated Pumpkin signing out.